CBS News is projecting that Donald Trump is the winner of the Nevada caucuses. Again, CBS News is projecting Donald Trump is the winner of the Nevada caucuses. And let's talk to our panel about this. Certainly the polls, Caitlin, had been looking good for Donald Trump, and some of the figures that we've been seeing, the entrance polls seem to indicate the anger was there, the conditions were there for this to be Donald Trump's night, and it appears it is.
I think all of the moving parts involved in this kind of thing were certainly in his favor. That anger number is really startling to me, and that really, underscores everything that we've been talking about. That they and the entrance polls that showed that voters had already a majority had already made up their minds just goes to show, and I think this is going to be a pattern.
Let's go ahead and listen in. This is Trump headquarters in Las Vegas, where the news is spreading. All right, so some enthusiastic supporters there getting the news. CBS News projecting Donald Trump has won the Nevada Republican caucuses. Let's turn quickly to our CBS News decision desk to break down this. We have our Demarco Morgan and Anthony Salvanto standing by. Hey, Demarco.
Hey, Elaine. It's always a good question that I have for Anthony whenever we project a winner. Of course, caucuses are very different from primaries. How do we know so soon that Donald Trump won Nevada?
Well, it starts with reporters. We've got interviewers out there talking to people all day as they're coming into the caucuses, and then we've got reporters who actually go and listen in and get that count as they tally the ballots there in those precincts. So as soon as things close, and I should say some of these places closed a little before some of the others, so we collected all of that vote. We look at it here, and I can tell you this looks like it's going to be a fairly convincing win for Donald Trump. He has been up in just about all those precincts. He has had a substantial lead in just about all of those precincts. And one of the things we do is we look for patterns in that interview data. We look to make sure that consistently voters we talk to throughout the state, and in particular Nevada, throughout Clark County, are all voting in roughly the same way. And there is that pattern of consistency here, and that's how we know.
So we're looking at these numbers right here. What are these percentages?
Right now, this is the early tallies that are just starting to come in. Now, we'll get many more of these throughout the night, but you can see even in what's in at this point, just 3%, he's already off to a very big lead just on the tally. You factor this in with, like I said, all those interviews we've been conducting all throughout the caucus process, and that's how you can come to this projection.
And we see the percentage numbers. What are the numbers below? The 940 below 42%.
That's vote count right now. That's vote count. So we're just getting started on the actual count. But like I said, what you want to do is get ahead of this by actually going in and getting a representative sample from throughout the state. And you get those voters, no matter who they are, coming in. Who are you voting for? They check it off. It's private, but they check it off. They drop it in the box, and then they tell us who it is that they were supporting, and they also tell us why. And that's how you get all those other exit poll questions along with it, because you're talking straight to the voters directly.
And we're also hearing that there was a record voter turnout there in Nevada. Where does the attention shift now? Number 2 spot, and who has a do-or-die situation tonight?
Yeah, there's going to be a fight for number 2, but look, at this point, this looks a little bit like it did in South Carolina, where you've got this big Trump margin, and then you've got Cruz and Rubio back there. Look, I suspect it'll be a long time before we know which of these, Cruz or Rubio, is in second, which is in third, and they may be close again. We just don't know that yet. It's just too soon. But I will say that coming out of the caucuses, you're going to see Donald Trump talking about how now this is his 3rd straight win, right. And that's a bit of a run there.
Gives him momentum.
Super Tuesday, yeah.
But not a surprise that he was able to walk away with Nevada.
Well, that's a great point. He had been up in what polling there was, as we were talking about earlier, and there wasn't a lot of it, but he was up in that, and a lot of folks thought that because he had a presence in the state, and because caucuses are all about that passion and that energy, and his supporters definitely have that. So even though we see record turnout, it's still a small percentage of all Republicans in the state that actually come out for this. And one of the things that I've been seeing in the tallies as we've been going is that there are a whole bunch of them, is that we do see a large number of people filling out those forms. And that's one of the ways we can tell the turnout is probably going to end up being pretty high. Yeah.
All right, Anthony, thank you. Let's go and send it back to Elaine.